In finance, most data almost never lives in one place. You've got sales in one table, customers in another, product information or costing somewhere else, and your calendar in yet another. But SQL joins are how you connect them all together. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to use joins to complete a quarterly sales report from 4 separate tables. No experience needed. Just follow along. The link to the free SQL playground I've created is in the description, so just click on the link. There's no technical setup required. So let me give you the finance context first. In most finance systems, data is stored in an ERP, a data warehouse, or even a well-structured Excel model. But data is stored in separate tables because it reduces duplication and it keeps things clean and efficient. But when you need to report on it, you need to bring it together. And that's exactly what a join does. It's an SQL instruction that says, connect this table to that table using a shared column. And the shared column is usually an ID, like a customer ID or a product ID, that exists in both tables, say the customer table and the product table. And this ID would be within both tables. So say the sales table and the product table, or the sales table and the customer table. And SQL uses those columns to match or merge the tables together. So you can use data from each table in the same report. So it's almost like you're creating a new table to do your reporting from. Just remember this, it's basically the same logic as a VLOOKUP or an XLOOKUP. You're bringing data together using a common field, but in a much more structured way than you can do it in Excel. So there are several types of joins in SQL, but for finance work, only 2 will cover about 90% of what you need. The first is the inner join, and that gives you only the rows that match in both tables. So if a sale has a customer ID of 101 and there's a customer in the customers table with ID 101, that row is included. If there's no match, it's excluded. This is the one you'll use most because it's clean and precise and gives you matched data only. Now the second type is left join. It gives you everything from the left table, even if there's no match on the right. So you might want a list of all your customers, including ones who haven't made a purchase yet. So a left join keeps those customers because it brings in all of them in the results, but it just leaves the sales column blank for the ones who haven't bought. So in finance terms, think of it inner join for transactional reports, left join when you need to spot gaps like customers with no activity or products with no sales. I'm on the SQL playground that I've created online, and you can access it from the link in the description below. We'll be working with the 4 tables shown under available tables called sales, customers, products, and calendar. Let me show you a quick preview of each one. Firstly, we'll do select all from sales and limit it to 10 rows. Now the sales table is our facts table. It's the core of the data. Notice it has customer ID and product ID columns. Those are the keys we'll use to join the sales table to the other tables. Next, we'll look at the customers table and we'll run the query. So the customer table has the customer ID. The customer ID is what connects it back to sales. They've both got the customer ID columns in each table. So by matching them, you can pull the data together on each line. Next, we'll look at the products. Notice the products table has the product ID. Again, that's how we'll link the product table to the sales table using the product ID, which is in both tables. And lastly, we have the calendar table. And this is how we'll filter the dates of the sales we're showing to Q1. So as you can see, the quarter column is called quarter label. In the where clause, we'll be using quarter label equals Q1. All right, let's start joining. So let's start with the simplest join, connecting sales to customers so we can see customer names alongside customer sales. So in the query window, we're doing select s.revenue and C dot customer name. Then we'll say from our sales table and call that S. Now we're going to tell it to do an inner join with customer table, customers, and we'll give that an alias of C on, and then we have to tell it which column to join on. So we'll take away the limit and we do the sales table, customer ID equals the customer table for customer ID. Now a few things to notice here. First, I'm giving each table an alias. Sales is S and customers is C. This is just shorthand, so I don't have to type out the full name every time I refer to the table. Secondly, we have the on clause, and this is telling the SQL query which columns to use as a match. And in this query, the link between the two tables is a customer ID. So we run that query, and there it is. Every sale now has a customer name attached to it. No VLOOKUPs, no copy and pasting, just one query. We've brought sales from the sales table and the customer name from the customer table. Let's add a second join to bring in the product information. So we'll go back up to the SQL editor and we'll leave the revenue and the customer name and we'll do a comma. And we're going to add in from the product table, the product name. We'll also bring in the product category. So we leave from sales because that's our main table in the query. Then we do an inner join for customers C on the customer ID, which we've already got. And then we add the next inner join for the products information, the products table, which we're giving the alias P, and telling the SQL query that we're joining the tables on sales, product ID, and product table, product ID. So we've just added another inner join, this time connecting sales table to the products table using the product ID. I'll just put that on another line. Run the query. So now every sale is on a separate line and it's showing the customer name, the product name, and the product category. We're pulling from 3 different tables, but when you read through the query, it's almost like plain English. And you can chain together as many inner joins as you like. You just keep adding inner join lines, 1 per table. Now, a quick detour to talk about left joins and how you use them in finance. Say your manager asks you which customers haven't placed any orders. With an inner join, those customers will be invisible because they have no matching rows, because an inner join filters out all the lines where you don't have matching rows. So we'll write the query first. So we're going to do it the other way around this time. We're going to say C customer name in the customers table, and then we're going to say revenue from the sales table. Then we're making the customers table the main table, so we're calling that first. And then we're doing a left join on the sales. And we're telling it that we're joining them on the customer ID on each table. What I'm actually going to do is add an order by ascending, and you'll see why in a second. So we'll run this. Order by the revenue, ascending, which means smallest to largest, ascending. Okay, so this is the output of this query. And see these blank rows? These are the customers with no sales. So as you can see, the left join has kept them in the results even though there was no match with the sales table. And this is how you can use left joins to find gaps, such as these inactive customers or unsold products or calendar days with no transactions. In finance, these checks are useful the completeness checks. So we're going to pull this all together. And what we're going to do is use the 3 tables we've already used plus the calendar to filter on quarter 1. So we're going to have a grouped summary for the quarter. And I'll just show you the output that we're going to have here. This is going to be the quarter and then the summary by customer and by product for the total revenue and the number of transactions for quarter 1. So to build this, we start again. Now from our calendar table, we're going to take the quarter label. From the customer table, we're going to take the customer name. From the product table, we're going to take the product category. And then we're going to show the sum of the revenue from the sales table and call that total revenue. We're going to count the number of sales IDs, which is just each unique sale, and call that the number of transactions. Keep it short. So we're going to use the sales table as the main data. So from the sales table, yes. Then we're going to say inner join, firstly the customers, C, on customer ID in the sales and customer table. Then we're also going to do an inner join, that's customers, inner join on the products table, on S product ID equals P dot product ID. And our last inner join is on the calendar table. I'm going to call that cal because I've already used C for the customers. I'm going to say on, and we're going to say on sale date equals calendar date, which is what the columns are called in each table. And this is important. So this is calendar date, but we're linking it to the sales date. The dates will be the same because dates don't change, but you just have to make sure you're using the correct column name. All right, now we're going to put our filter under all the joins. So we're from the calendar table, the quarter label equals quarter 1, and we have to put it in text. Now we're going to group by the quarter, because that's what we want to see it by, comma. We're also going to group it by the customer name, and we're also going to group it by the product category. And to make it nice and neat, we're going to order it by total revenue descending, so biggest to smallest. We're on the query. Okay, I've got an error. It says no such table as product. I believe that will be products. And likewise, even though I was saying it, you don't put the C, you put the cal. Okay. So just, there we go. Those errors were good reminders that you do have to make sure that you correctly name each table in any query and each column header. They'll be 90% of your mistakes. Well, they are mine anyway. So this is the output of this query. Now we'd like it to be nice and neat. So we use our round keyword to 2 decimal places where needed. So we do that on the revenue. Okay, so let me just run through what's happening here. We've used the select section to pull the quarter from the calendar table, the customer name and the product category. And then we're using the sum function to sum the total revenue for each of these groupings. So as you will see on each line, this is the sum of the total revenue for beverages bought by the Southern Retail Group in quarter 1. We then count the sale ID as a number of transactions, so the number of purchases in the table. And then in the from and our 3 inner joins, we're connecting the tables that we need the database from. So in the from and the inner join sections, we're telling the query where the data is coming from. We're using the sales table as the main table, and then we're joining the customer and the products and the calendar table. The customer and products for data, and then calendar for filtering in the where clause, where we only wanted Q1. So as you can see, if you go all the way down, we've only got Q1 showing. If you wanted to next quarter, change it to Q2, you just do that. Run your query, and it's Q2. Any query that you find useful, save it, and then you can just update it for timings or different queries that you need to run without doing the whole thing again. And then we've grouped it by these 3 non-numeric fields, and then we're ordering it by descending biggest to smallest in the revenue. So this is your complete Q1 quarterly sales report with customer names, product categories, total revenue, and number of sales, all built from 4 tables in one query, and a very small output for the amount of lines that this could take in a high volume company. A quick recap of what you learnt today. Inner join connects tables using a shared column. It only shows matched rows. Left join keeps everything from the left table, even when there's no match. And we use 4 joins together to build a full Q1 quarterly sales report. Customers, products, revenue, all in one query. The SQL Playground link is in the description. The queries from this video are already loaded. Run them, change the filters, and see what happens. That's how you learn. In the next video, we're going to look at subqueries, how to use the results in one SQL query inside of another. In finance, that means things like show me customers whose total revenue is above the company average. You do that in one single query. Subscribe so you don't miss it or any videos I'm releasing. And I'll see you in the next one.